Darkseid War opens quietly, almost comfortably. Wine pours into a glass, slow and deliberate, a luxury untouched by the chaos to come. The voice behind it admits there are things he missed about this universe, small human details that survived even as everything else moved toward collapse. But this calm is deceptive. The stillness isn't peace, it's anticipation. Because while the world goes on pretending things are fine, something ancient and catastrophic is already stirring beneath the surface. This war doesn't begin with explosions. It begins with reflection and the understanding that what comes next will tear reality apart. The quiet is broken when the door opens, and normal life tries to rush back in. Apologies spill out, small frustrations about errands, weather, and bad days, all painfully ordinary. But something is wrong. A stranger sits too comfortably in the shadows, wine in hand, listening like he belongs. When the truth hits, fear replaces confusion. Questions come fast, desperation faster. And with a calm raise of the glass, the intruder speaks, confirming this was never a mistake, never a coincidence. This moment was always meant to happen. The moment breaks without warning. Fear turns to panic as the man in the chair acts first, hurling his weapon across the room without hesitation. And the night ends instantly. When the smoke clears, the answer is already known. She was never the one. The search continues, carried out without urgency or doubt because this was always inevitable. Even in a world he openly despises, he allows himself small comforts, a reminder that some things are still worth savoring before everything ends. With the verdict delivered, a boom tube opens and the command is simple and final. It's time to move on. Darkseid is waiting. The moment shifts from quiet menace to personal history as the mother box is activated. As a key turns, the voice behind it admits a truth carved into him early. He was never meant to matter. Chosen as a child to end a war between New Genesis and Apokolips, he was traded away before he could refuse, welcomed by Darkseid's court only to be reshaped, broken, and discarded. Yet what was meant to erase him instead hardened him. Forgotten by gods, he learned that survival itself could become a weapon, and that obscurity, in a universe ruled by tyrants, can be power. He describes Apokolips not as a single prison, but as a system designed to break hope over time. After years of torture, he learns patience first, fear second. He opens his cell inch by inch, explores only far enough to live, then retreats before punishment can find him. Night after night, he studies the world that enslaved him, mapping its horrors, slipping past guards, learning where monsters sleep and where rebels hide. Eventually, he stops running. He fights, he frees others, he finds purpose, even love. And in a place built to erase people, escape becomes the most dangerous idea of all. When he finally reaches Earth, he sheds the name he was given and chooses one of his own. Scot-free. A name built on survival, not ownership. To New Genesis, his escape is a miracle, proof that someone endured what Apokolips was meant to erase. To Scott, it's unfinished business. Every lock he ever picked taught him more than how to escape a cell. It taught him how systems fail. Now he's returned to the one place no one escapes twice, standing closer to Darkseid than anyone ever has, knowing this isn't about running anymore. Darkseid isn't just a tyrant. He's a threat that's grown unchecked, and Scot-free is done surviving. Years ago, the Justice League did the impossible and stopped Darkseid from turning Earth into another parademon factory. It was the only time his advance was ever halted. Since then, Darkseid hasn't been idle. He's been searching for a way to return stronger, gathering forces not just from Apokolips, but from worlds he's broken and rebuilt in his image. Now the signs are clear. Whatever he's preparing is larger than before and far more dangerous. Scot-free knows he can't face it alone. If Darkseid is moving again, there's only one answer left. He's going to need the Justice League. Darkseid War widens its focus by looking back at the people behind the legends. When Diana first saw the Justice League, she thought they were gods. They weren't, just individuals shaped by where they came from, carrying different worlds on their shoulders. An Atlantean, a space cop, a Kryptonian, a billionaire, and Diana herself. All connected, not by divinity, but by choice. Her story begins far from war, on the quiet shores of Themyscira. Raised on an island meant to protect the world, she grew up hearing terrifying stories about what existed beyond the horizon. One morning, something washed ashore that shattered that distance. Diana lingered over it, studying what was left behind, missing her training, asking questions her mother didn't want to answer. As the sun set over the sea, Diana realized she wasn't just curious, she was searching. And that search would eventually lead her into the coming war. The story shifts from origins to a shared question that follows every hero long before the war begins. Across different lives and different worlds, the same thought keeps returning. What's out there? For some, it's truth. For others, adventure, purpose, even justice. Long before costumes or symbols, these moments define who they will become. Sitting under stars, staring at the unknown, feeling the pull toward something bigger than themselves. Each answer leads them down a different path, but all of them end up standing in the same place. Looking out into the dark, realizing that whatever they're searching for isn't just waiting to be found. It's something they'll have to choose to stand for. And when the universe finally pushes back, those quiet questions are what turn ordinary lives into legends. In present time, the League comes together the way they always do. Quietly, methodically, and already too late. A simple crime scene tells a darker story the longer they stand in it. 2 people dead, no forced entry, no fingerprints, no clear motive. Cyborg traces alien tech woven into the killer's method, something familiar and wrong. Batman pieces together the timeline, realizing the victims didn't even have time to run. Flash confirms it happened fast, faster than fear. Wonder Woman sees the pattern forming beneath the evidence. This wasn't random, and it wasn't human. Whatever did this wanted to be felt, not seen, and it's already moving on. Cyborg works the room with precision, isolating trace ash left behind by a boom tube, proof the killer didn't leave this world the normal way. He explains it calmly, clinically, but the moment weighs heavier on Shazam. Standing beside him, the youngest among them, Billy feels the reality settle in. He admits he's never seen a dead body before, and the words hang in the air. This isn't a battlefield or a distant war. It's a quiet room where lives ended suddenly, and for the first time, the cost of being here becomes impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Superman confronts Lex Luthor directly, not with punches, but with questions. Neutron is dying, and moving him to LexCorp may be the only way to keep him alive, even if it means trusting the last person anyone should. Luthor insists he never wanted Neutron dead, only answers, and admits that while he plays the villain, he still understands the weight of a life ending on his watch. As they walk deeper into LexCorp, the tension sharpens. Superman offers a chance to choose differently, while Luthor reminds him that trust doesn't come easy in rooms without blue skies. Neutron is barely holding on. His powers are gone, his body ravaged by cancer, and every treatment LexCorp has tried has failed. Doctors warn that waking him could kill him, but waiting guarantees the same outcome. Superman doesn't accept that. He corners Lex Luthor with his own reputation, challenging the man who boasts about mastering science, medicine, and control to actually prove it when a life is on the line. Luthor resists, postures, and deflects, but Superman doesn't back down. If Lex truly is the smartest man in the room, this is the moment to show it. And as everyone watches, the real question isn't whether Luthor can save Neutron, but whether he wants to. Trust doesn't come easy when betrayal is all you have ever known. On Apokolips, Scott spent years searching for someone he could rely on, nearly breaking before he found Hyman, a rebel from New Genesis. Hyman didn't just teach him how to build a mother box or open doorways across worlds, he changed how Scott saw himself. Through him, Scott learned that freedom wasn't just escape, and that some fights were bigger than survival. Leaving Apokolips was never enough. What was taken from him was taken from everyone there. And if Darkseid wasn't challenged, none of them would ever truly be free. The air changes the moment he arrives. With the fire-lit glow of Apokolips bleeding into the room, Darkseid stands waiting on the other side. He recognizes the colors immediately. There's no speech, no warning, just the weight of history pressing down between them. This isn't a surprise and it isn't a reunion, it's inevitability. Scott didn't come back to hide or to run. He came back knowing exactly who was standing in front of him and exactly what it would take to stop him. Darkseid doesn't attack right away. He questions Scott instead, asking why he wears those colors, dissecting them like a lie made visible. To Darkseid, the colors represent a world Scott pretends to stand for, a freedom he claims but never truly escaped. Scott answers simply, saying he chose them. That's when Darkseid cuts deepest, dismissing the idea of choice altogether. Survival isn't freedom, escape isn't identity, and Scott's name means nothing here. In Darkseid's eyes, he was never free, never reborn, only a slave who learned how to run. Darkseid answers Scott's defiance with violence. His Omega beams erupt, tearing across the throne room and slamming Scott from the air, driving him hard into the stone. As Scott struggles to rise, Darkseid keeps speaking, calm and merciless, recalling another man on Apokolips who once resisted his will. That resistance ended the same way all defiance does here. Eventually, Darkseid's will became his very own. He hunted his own family down and killed them. The lesson is clear. This isn't a fight yet. It's a reminder of how absolute Darkseid's rule has always been. Darkseid towers over Scott, unshaken, dismantling him with words instead of force. He names Scott's friends, his allies, even Barda, reducing every connection to something fragile and temporary. Scott answers by reaching for the mother box, not in defiance but in choice, refusing to let Darkseid decide who he is or what he's worth. Only then does the mother box react in his hands, its energy swelling as reality begins to fold, and Scott tears open a boom tube of his own, escaping Darkseid not by overpowering him but by surviving him. The tension shifts from the cosmic to personal. Cyborg connects the dots as identical murders ripple across the country, all tied to the same name, all too precise to be random. The League locks into procedure, routing protection and searching for patterns. But something feels off beneath the logic. The Green Lantern rings fall silent. The warnings stop whispering, and that silence is louder than any alarm. Even Flash senses it. That uneasy pause where control feels close but not complete, like the storm hasn't hit yet. It's just waiting for the right moment to move. The moment shatters when Grail emerges directly from Flash himself, tearing her way out as if his body were a doorway. The League barely has time to react before the room explodes into chaos. Flash is thrown aside, stunned and bleeding, while Grail stands revealed, calm and deliberate. She isn't here by accident, and she isn't improvising. Drawing first blood is the point. Flash wasn't just attacked, he was used, and whatever force Grail represents has already found a way inside their world. Grail steps forward, no hesitation, no speech about destiny or balance, just intent. She tells them plainly that she's going to hurt them, and the way she says it makes it clear this isn't a threat, it's a promise. The flames bend around her, her weapon steady in hand. And in that moment, the Justice League realizes this isn't an invasion or a warning. This is the opening move of something far more personal, and Grail is enjoying every second of it. Rain cuts through the ruins as Grail turns her attention to Batman, singling him out in a room full of gods. She calls him what he is, the human among legends, and admits that even so, he could still be dangerous. Fire coils at her feet as she decides the order of pain, not out of strategy but curiosity. Her eyes ignite, and with a calm, almost amused certainty, she chooses him first. Not because he is the strongest, but because he is the one who might endure it the longest. Grail strikes without hesitation, tearing through the fight and cutting Batman down mid-motion before anyone can react. As Cyborg tries to identify her, she's already moved on, silencing Batman with a single word and casting him aside like he was never a threat. Shazam rushes in, but Grail ignores him, her focus locking onto Cyborg as she senses the mother box within him. The battle shifts in an instant. This isn't random violence anymore. Grail knows exactly what she's looking for, and she demands it outright, her voice carrying the certainty that this encounter was always meant to end this way. Scot-free crashes hard, the mother box immediately assessing the damage and identifying the victim Kanto was searching for. The name, Myrina Black surfaces, human, recently killed, another thread in a pattern that now feels deliberate. Before Scott can recover, the air changes. Lashina steps into the moment, one of Darkseid's favored assassin, calm and precise, carrying history with her. Scott knows what that means. If Kanto is here, this isn't a chase anymore. It's an execution waiting to happen, and survival suddenly becomes the only move that matters. Rain and fire frame the moment as Grail makes her move, striking Cyborg with intent, not rage. She makes it clear she's done her homework. Victor Stone isn't just another hero to her. He's a resource. His evolving technology, his connection to forces he barely understands, makes him more dangerous in her eyes than Batman ever was. As she tears into him, this isn't a fight meant to be won quickly. It's a harvest in progress. But before she can finish, lightning cuts through the chaos. Shazam crashes in without hesitation, pulling Victor free and drawing her attention away, turning what should have been an execution into the first real interruption of Grail's plan. The escape barely buys them a breath. As debris rains down and the night burns around them, Shazam is already helping Cyborg back to his feet, trying to understand what Grail did to him and why Victor's body is still rebuilding itself mid-collapse. There's no time to stabilize anything. Grail returns without urgency, without fear, closing the distance like the outcome was never in doubt. She drives her blade into Shazam as she tightens her grip, calling him a child and treating his power like a temporary inconvenience. This isn't a clash of equals. It's Grail reminding them that mercy isn't part of her design and that survival in this war is going to cost far more than pain. Wonder Woman grabs Grail from behind, locking her arms and forcing her off balance. Grail fights hard against Diana's hold, letting out a sharp grunt as she tries to break free. There's no confidence in her face, just effort and anger. Below them, Shazam screams as lightning rips through him again, his own power betraying him. The damage is already done. Even restrained, she's proven how easily she can turn their strength against them. Back at LexCorp, Superman finds out that the League is under attack, but even he doesn't yet understand by who. Wonder Woman struggles to restrain Grail, admitting her lasso isn't working the way it should. Grail answers for herself, cutting through the confusion, declaring her Amazon blood and unleashing her full power. Her heat vision slams into Diana at close range, not wild or accidental, but deliberate. Grail makes it clear she was made for this moment, and she intends to carry out the mission she was created for, no matter who stands in her way. Grail doesn't just overpower Diana, she dismantles the idea behind her. She mocks Wonder Woman for needing the League, telling her she's stronger without them. Even as Argus agents moves to pull Diana clear, Grail presses the attack, her words cutting as sharply as her blows. She calls Diana a failure to the old gods, no different from the humans she protects, and then unleashes another brutal blast without hesitation. This isn't rage or chaos. It's conviction. Grail isn't trying to prove she's stronger. She's proving that everything Wonder Woman represents is already obsolete. At LexCorp, the crisis doesn't slow things down. Diana's signal drops, the West Coast goes dark, and instead of panic, Lex Luthor pivots straight into opportunity. He unveils new armor powered by kryptonite, framing it as science, progress, and necessity, even as Superman calls out the danger and the hypocrisy. Lex argues power grids, public good, long-term solutions, all while quietly reminding everyone that kryptonite keeps Kryptonians in check. When Superman shuts him down and tells him they're done with his help, Lex doesn't back off. He explodes. Not because he's afraid, and not because he refuses to be dismissed, but he refuses to be spoken down to in front of his sister Lena and refuses to lose control. The room erupts into chaos as the armored tyrant takes hit after hit, energy blasts ripping through his suit while he roars in defiance. He's shot mid-speech, arrogance punctured in real time, and suddenly all that talk about science, leadership, and control collapses into blood on the floor. Lena doesn't hesitate. No monologue, no drama, just clean execution and a cold truth spelled out loud. If you want something done right, you do it yourself. Superman sees it for what it is instantly. Lex didn't fall because of gods or monsters. He fell because even the people closest to him were done believing the story he kept selling. Hal moves fast, decisive, doing what Green Lanterns have always done best. He clears civilians, takes command, and steps straight into the storm to keep her attention off everyone else. The ring flares bright, pure will made solid, and for a moment it looks like resolve might actually be enough. Then she reaches into the construct itself. She doesn't overpower it, she understands it. The energy bends, fractures, and turns against him as the ring stutters and chokes on its own purpose. Hal hits the ground hard, the light failing mid-thought, and the realization lands just as fast. This isn't a brute force threat. This is Grail, and she's here to break gods by dismantling what makes them believe. Grail pivots, calm and surgical, and her attention locks onto Jessica Cruz. She doesn't see a rookie lantern. She sees a living conduit. The ring isn't just will to her, it's a tether, a bridge to something darker, and Grail pulls on it with purpose. Fear floods in. Jessica fights it, every instinct screaming to hold on, but the light fractures under the weight of what's being forced through her. The construct warps, the glow turns sickly and feral, and for a split second the battlefield feels wrong. Like reality itself is being bent inside out. This isn't about overpowering a lantern. It's about corrupting the source. And Grail proves she doesn't just break heroes, she repurposes them. Grail lifts her head into the storm, bloodied but resolute, and speaks as if the outcome is already decided. She isn't here to conquer with force alone. She's here to unleash pure terror through fear. From that darkness he will rise. Elsewhere, the warning lands like a death sentence. Ultraman waits behind steel and concrete, knowing exactly who is coming, while the world itself seems to listen. The darkness doesn't just threaten the light, it promises to consume it. And as Grail opens herself to that void, the message is clear. This war isn't coming, it has already begun. From the collapsing reality rises the Anti-Monitor, a cosmic executioner. A colossal figure descends from the collapsing reality, metal armor glowing as fire and energy tear the air apart around him. Rain streaks across the battlefield, hissing against heat so intense it fractures the ground below, turning his arrival into an extinction-level announcement. This isn't an attack fueled by rage, it's domination executed with purpose. The world doesn't brace for impact because it has no time. The moment he arrives, the balance is already gone, and whatever stood here before is proof that resistance was never part of the long-term strategy. Back at LexCorp, Lena doesn't hesitate. With Lex bleeding and Superman restrained, she raises the mother box and makes her choice with cold certainty, ordering Superman's death in Darkseid's name and turning a rescue into outright betrayal. That decision fractures the moment instantly. Elsewhere, the mother box responds, tearing through space as a boom tube rips open. Scott shouts for the jump to steal the next location. As the ground vanishes, the pull becomes violent and uncontrolled. This isn't about spectacle, it's about alignment. Allies are exposed, exits are forced, and the path is cleared for forces far worse than Darkseid to step through next. The boom tube collapses behind Scott free, dropping Mr. Miracle hard into a battered city as the echo of the mother box still rings in his head. He barely has time to get his bearings before a massive griffin erupts from the smoke, screeching and lunging on pure instinct, its beak snapping close enough to feel lethal. Scott doesn't reach for a weapon, doesn't flinch, and that hesitation matters because a calm voice cuts through the chaos and pulls the creature back before it can strike. Breathing heavy, Scott steadies himself and looks up, confused and wary, realizing this wasn't a rescue or an accident. Someone wanted him here, alive, and whatever game is unfolding now, the world's greatest escape artist has just landed in a situation even he didn't plan for. Scott barely has time to breathe before the truth steps out of the shadows. The woman who stopped the griffin finally names herself Marina Black. Her presence calm, controlled, and deliberate. She makes it clear this moment wasn't chance. She has spent decades preparing for one purpose alone, the death of Darkseid, and Scott's arrival was part of that design. As the griffin roars beside her and the city trembles, she offers Scott a choice, not as a threat, but as an invitation to stand against a god. And that wraps up this week Comic Stories, Justice League Darkseid War Part 1. Welcome to Comic Lore, home of Marvel's and DC's wildest stories, where we break down how heroes and villains rise, fall, and sometimes come back stronger than ever. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay updated on your comic lore. Don't forget to let us know in the comments if you want to see more comic stories from your favorite characters. Until next time, comic lovers, we'll see you in the next one.